Welcome to another learning module in RedSeal Stratus. This lesson covers the Inventory tab, and we will learn ways to see an overview of AWS resources. Then we will select within the overview to establish an inventory list of AWS network objects, like the VPCs, the subnets, gateways, and EC2s. We can then see how these objects connect by using the map. Then we will examine the details of one or two resources and export our findings to share. After we set up our data collection, it ran using the master schedule. Our model administration task page revealed the next run, the status of the prior run, and the time and date of the last analysis. We can now view our inventory using the Inventory tab shown in the left panel. The Inventory Overview supports a snapshot of AWS resources based on our data collection. At a glance, we can see a breakdown of resources that include our account, the gateways, virtual private networks, or VPCs, subnets within these networks, and the EC2 instances. During the data collection setup, we asked RedSeal Stratus to collect resources from all regions. If we select the accounts number, we can see this resource by name, type, and ID. We can also select the resource. This expands our view to see the resource details. In this example, we can see the organization ID, which helps verify the account's owner. Let's return to the Inventory Overview tab. And this time, go ahead and select the number next to subnets. The table shown lists 100 subnets associated with the VPCs of this AWS account. If we look at the right corner of the screen, we will find a button for downloading this list to a .csv file. Select the button for more instructions. The pop-up supports the choice to download all the results shown or select numbers of results when we collect a large volume of subnets. For our example, we will just keep the All Results and click the Export button. Note the confirmation on the top of this screen, and then select the My Activities button as indicated. We would then choose the export icon shown to the right of this export data activity. Similar to what we did earlier with the account resource, we can select any of the subnet names shown here as IP addresses. The screen will divide and reveal details associated with the subnet. For now, if we want to see a visual display of how the subnets connect within the cloud network, we can select the map link on the left panel. When the map loads, our initial view gives us two groups, Internet and AWS. Stratus uses these groups to organize resource data collected from a cloud platform. To take a closer look at the group contents, we will start by double-clicking on Internet. Inside we see Internet access represented by ports. We need to kind of move it aside to see the AWS group. As we open this group, we see the AWS account inside. The account resource group organizes its network objects within it. We can double-click to open it for more details. And now we can see the VPCs we collected. We can drill into a VPC by double-clicking it. This expansion reveals the network objects with their connections. The lines represent the way each object interacts with another within the VPC or a different VPC or perhaps outside the network, for example, the Internet. If we look at these lines or vectors, the line labeled 1 shows connectivity between the VPC router and a subnet labeled for public. The line labeled 2 shows the connectivity between the subnet and the NAT gateway. Going back to the VPC router, if we right-click on it, we'll see a right-click menu with Grow Selection as an option. We need to select the option. A longer line shows us the gateway's connection to the Internet port. With a few map adjustments, we can see our options more clearly. We can now see both groups plus access the Internet port within the Internet group. With a right click, we can pick from two options. Let's take a look at the details for this subnet. The action opened a new section of the screen to reveal details related to the selected object. In this example, we see the Internet port with ID. If we want to return to the VPC and its connected objects, we can select the upper group and then right-click the router. This will allow us to grow the selection, and growing the selection allows us to see how the inventory items connect. Looking from the VPC router to a public subnet with a NAT gateway, we can learn more by right-clicking the subnet and then viewing its details. And pick the Subnet Details option, which changes the data within the lower section of the map view. Within this view, we can see the data related to further understand the connection and limitations. We may want to look at the network ACL by expanding our view and then selecting that row. For a better view, expand this section by clicking the frame's top border. That changes the cursor to pull the bottom area upward. Now click within the Network ACL row to open the Details view. This section displays both inbound and outbound rules pertaining to potential network traffic. If we scroll down a bit, the rules appear in the priority order set in the AWS security group associated with the subnet. By selecting the Outbound Rules tab, we can check the security rules associated with traffic leaving the subnet. What if we want to share information with others on our team or in our organization? If we return to the Inventory Overview tab by selecting the Overview link on the left panel, and then navigate to the number link next to subnets under the AWS Resources section, we can make choices within the listed inventory to export and share with others. We might recall noticing the VPC name within the subnet details in the map view. If we access the Refine Results box, we can clear the filter shown by default using the Clear Filter link near the top right. Then we'll need to select in that Refine Results area again. That causes a drop-down menu to open. We know the VPC name, so we should select Resource VPC. And we can see the name we found in the Subnet Details area, and now we can select it. It populates in the results bar, and we can use the search icon at the right end. This makes the inventory list filter. Now we can select our choice in several ways. Let's start by selecting the entire row. With the row selected, we can right-click and pick the View Details option. This opens the section of the inventory screen so we can see those details. And now we can scroll down. Expand the Network ACL row. If we want to only download the information shown, we need to select the download icon on the top right of this table view. When the export window appears, select the Export button. Our screen verifies the downloaded file, and we can navigate over to the My Activities link, where we see and then select the icon for downloading. Our CS file drops to the bottom of our screen, and then we click to open it. And now we can see the filtered results in our inventory review. Okay, so let's close out of this file and then return to our filtered inventory results. We want to click back on our Inventory Overview option on our left navigation panel. We mentioned earlier how RedSeal Stratus supports a rapid understanding or view of our total AWS inventory all in one place. What does that mean exactly? If we take a quick look at an AWS console, the screen gives us some idea of the resource inventory. However, we need to navigate through several screens and expand the views of each resource just to see some of the inventory, like the one VPC's details. But we still don't see the full picture. For that, we would have to go back to the Inventory tab. All right, this wraps up our Inventory tab lesson. We went to the Inventory tab and viewed the inventory of our AWS resources. We then selected from the resources and viewed an inventory list that we can filter and download for sharing. We navigated to the Map feature and viewed our inventory connections and details, and we used what we saw on our map to filter the inventory list and download the filtered results. At this point, we can listen to and interact with this learning module again, or we can just move on to the next part of RedSeal Stratus.